Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melody. Thank you so much for being here. Today I'm going to be bullet journaling for the month of October 2022. So sit back, relax, or grab your markers and bullet journal with me, whatever it is. I just hope you enjoy this video. So first off, I do want to show you guys September's bullet journal really quick, just a little bit of a flip through since I did not film a video for September's bullet journal. It ended up being a firefly theme, but I just never did end up filming it. I got so busy in September, so I do apologize for that. But today we are focusing on October, which, if you can't tell already, the theme for October is Scooby Doo, which I am just so thrilled about because I have had a lifelong love for Scooby Doo. It's truly a bit of an obsession. I love Scooby Doo. I loved it since I was a child and I never grew out of it. And one of my most watched movies of all time is Scooby Doo Monsters Unleashed, the second live action. I love that movie to this day. But I think the thing that was really the deciding factor in making this year's October theme was that my niece, my little 3, almost 4-year-old niece, also loves Scooby-Doo right now, and I just love that we get to share the love of Scooby-Doo across the generations, so shout out to my niece for definitely inspiring this theme this month. So first and foremost, I'm over here on the left side of my title page. As you can see, I started out with a sketch because it would have taken me forever to film sketching this scene out. But basically, when I was looking up inspiration for this theme, I just typed Scooby-Doo into Google and I saw this image of the whole gang together around a book, which was the most fitting thing I could think of since this is a bullet journal that tracks my reading habits. So I knew I wanted this little illustration in my title page, and so that's what I'm working on right now, just outlining everything. And I did do the wrong dates on the calendar over there, and I do end up fixing it. I put September's days instead of October's, but nothing a little white out couldn't fix. As with any of my bullet journals, you do not have to do as much hand drawing as I do, especially for this month. All of the illustrations I do are heavily based off reference images I found on Google. So if you want to recreate this bullet journal at all or use some of these images, head to Google. You can find my references there and you can print them out and color them in yourself or however you want to do it. But just thought I'd throw that out there. This is a very illustration heavy bullet journal month, which I personally really love, but if it's not your cup of tea, you don't have to do it that way. By the way, I am using mostly Copic markers for this month's theme. I just have, I think, more variety in Copic markers, but they are the markers that bleed through the pages pretty badly, so I do skip pages between illustrations. I've done this before. It's what works for me, and it works really well if I do want to use Copic markers. If you don't want markers that bleed, you can use this marker I'm currently using, which is a Tombow brush tip marker. These ones do not bleed through, and I use just a couple of them throughout this month's spreads, but for the most part, the other colors you see are my Copic markers. And down there at the bottom of the left side, on the table, I guess you could say, I have Zoinks, It's a Spooky Season, written down there to kind of fill that space. And for the background, I didn't want to illustrate the background from my reference image, so I simply go in with this marker here, this soft warm gray color, and I use that as my background shade, and I decide to pull that background shade across to the other side of the page, and I just kind of fill in the background of the right side here with the corresponding colors that were on the left. I do use this gray tone throughout all my spreads, and it is subtle on camera, but in person it definitely makes a big difference, and it definitely lends to the moody, spooky vibes that I wanted in this Scooby Doo theme. Last but not least, of course, I'm adding some washi tape before I can move on to the next spread. Here you can see how I skip a page before I get to my next spread, and then I just take off, start running with another illustration. I hope some of you guys are Scooby Doo fans as well and recognize this monster. This is one of the original OG monsters from the very first season of Scooby Doo, I believe. This is Cap Cutler's ghost, and he is one of my favorites. I love how spooky old-fashioned scuba gear is. Honestly, low-key terrifying. Alright, I gotta stop talking about Captain Cutler. This spread, by the way, is my books read spread. If you've been here or seen my videos before, you know I do the same spreads every month, but if you're new, I like to keep track of the books I read each month, and I typically read about 6, so here I have 6 boxes for each book where I will put the title, author, and a little short description of the book. And this month, instead of stars for my star rating, I am going to do little bats, as you can see, which I think is just the perfect, cute little cherry on top. Here you can see I've jumped ahead, and now the background is colored with that same warm gray color, and I am just color blocking a little bit here, doing purple for my description boxes. And I guess I kind of got a little bit lost and confused with what to do with the rest of this spread. After I'd colored in the background and finished Captain Cutler, I outlined with orange, and then I just kind of gave that a break and went on to my next spread. But you will see at the end, the flip through, that I did make some changes, and you will see that at the end. And now we are on to my third and final spread this month. I only had time for 3, but this one has one of my favorite illustrations I've ever done. This just makes me giggle every time I see it. So this is, again, a scene, I guess, from one of the older cartoons where Scooby dresses up as the witch ghost that they're hunting, and there's a moment where they just look at each other and point, and it just cracks me up, and it reminds me of the Spider-Man meme as well. So I saw this and I was like, yep, I am doing that, no questions asked. And I love it. I just love how happy it makes me. I really wanted the illustration to be the focal point of this spread, and I had a really good time coloring it in, and again, I just love it to death. But other than that, this spread has my goals on the left where I put my calendars to track my goals. I only have 3 this month. I have been really slacking at tracking my goals lately, and instead of putting 4 this month, I decided to just do 3 to hopefully stress myself out a little bit less. And then on the right side is my monthly fave. As always, you can see I again added that warm gray background, and I also added some washi tape to the sides. And this is actually the next day. I decided to add in some spider webs in the corners just to add a little bit more to this page where it felt empty. But other than that, that pretty much wraps up this spread. Alright. Alrighty, it's time for the final flip through. I am so thrilled with how this theme turned out this month. I mean, how could I not be thrilled? It's Scooby freaking Doo. Here in the close-up shots, you can really see the details of my illustrations, and you can also see the washi tape I used a bit better. It's kind of geometric patterned, which I think really ties in well with the 70s vibes that you get from Scooby Doo. But yeah, I love how my title page turned out. It's definitely my favorite. And here onto my book's red spread, you can see I made some substantial changes. I added washi tape to the borders of my boxes there just to add a bit more oomph to the page, I think. And I also added bats up by the title Books Red, which I just think is really cute and kind of ties in the page as well. And here is my third and final spread. I have not made many changes to this other than what you've already seen. So yeah, this pretty much wraps it up. Again, I am just so obsessed with the comedic gold that is the illustration of Scooby and the witch pointing at each other. I will never get over it, and I hope you guys like it as much as I do. And that's it, guys. That wraps up October 2022's Scooby Doo themed bullet journal. I hope you guys liked this video. Thank you so much for being here. Subscribe if you feel so inclined, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!